Hi guys, welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Welcome to a little workshop. Yeah. Where's everybody gone? Come back. Oh no, not a workshop. How long is it going to take? I want it for a 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute, Mark. Okay. Well, Mark doesn't do 1 minute workshops. Well, there you go. What are you looking at? A Christmas tree full of sweeties. Full of lovely sweeties. Yay! Yummy! Well, as part of the Pure Energy Healing Crystal online course, this is just a small snippet of the 4 days of understanding crystals, how to work with them, and the process of what I've kind of organically and very mysteriously created without even realizing. And I think that's one of the most purest things to do when it's organic. It just happens naturally. It just all the pieces fall together and think, wow, you look back and think, that's incredible how all that happened. The synchronicities are incredible, and this is one of them. So this was in Tickle Pink. I've no idea. Tickle Pink was a shop that we used to own before I even started doing this work, this healing work. And I'm not so sure what was on here, but it became part of my healing room. So something will have happened, we didn't need it anymore, we ran out of the stock or whatever, we couldn't get any more, and this stand, which we ended up buying, came up to my healing room. So there was a reason why it came upstairs, and that reason was because I was kind of losing the momentum of crystal hours that I was placing into crystals, and it was like, okay, how many hours did I use that crystal for? And I was wondering why I was writing everything down when I was using these crystals on clients. I was wondering why I wrote down certain feelings and thoughts, and a lot of the times it was a natural process of trying to understand, as a scientist would, that what I wrote down made sense. So I might write down, let's say, citrine. So I write citrine down on in a book, and I write down 1 hour or 1 hour and a half of healing the foot. That's it. And then I'd go through the process of all the other crystals and write in whatever I was healing on that client. So let's say, I don't know, maybe a moonstone, and I'd write down awakening, and this client saw so and so in the third eye and felt their family in spirit. So I'd write this down in the book, but for some reason, instead of putting the book there and on the table that I had, I got this and started putting the crystals here at the bottom. And what I did then was put one, and then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and counted all the way around till I got back to where it was. So I'd have a little marker here, and a marker would be, I think it was a little red fold up sticker. So I knew that was the beginning and that was the end. So the final one here would then come off after doing all these hours work. So each one of these branches are 1 hour. So I'd put this on a client and I knew where it came from there, so I'd move it to the next branch, and so on, kept going all the way around. So after I'd got all the way around, I'd then, when I got to here, I'd move up, and exactly the same, I'd have a little red marker and work my way around to the point that it gets to the top. Once I'd gone all the way around with the hours there, and there's a red marker here, I would then take this crystal and put it away, knowing that that crystal was ready. So what I found fascinating was that certain crystals were used in the same healing process without even knowing. So what I used to do is I didn't look at the crystal knowing what crystal did the healing work. No, 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 no. What I did was I totally trusted, and many times I closed my eyes and just grab a crystal and then start the healing work. So what would happen was I'd lay the crystal on the client and then start the healing process and either hold the crystal in my hand or put my hand over where the crystal laid on the client and did the healing session. And then I realized that I was always going for certain crystals that, say, 7 or 8 clients had come that day. If I picked up, let's say, this crystal, it would always be for a certain issue, whether every client that came in had issues with grief or anger or anxiety. And I'd find that there was a pattern, and it was fascinating to me, because trying to understand in a scientific mind how you could keep grabbing a same crystal without knowing what was wrong with your client, finishing the work, and then your client might say, you know, I've just had a family pet just pass away. And I'd go, wow, okay, now this was used on a client 2 days ago for the very same issue. So it's almost like the crystal has its own mind of its own. It knows where it needs to heal. So the crystal, in fact, does choose you because it vibrates at the very energy. So a good healer or yourself can pick that up. And you don't have to practice that. It is a simple case of being in tune. Now, the problem with being in tune is that your mind tells you you haven't practiced. You don't understand it. You don't know what you're doing. And thus you block that attunement. Whereas you've done it before. You've practiced this before, many lifetimes, but you don't know if that's true or not. You're like, no, I don't think I have. And I'd say, well, you're working with crystals, so you must have done. Because I do believe that when we feel a passion about something, it's because we've done it before. And that's my truth. So when you're working with a crystal, you've worked with it before. And the only thing you have to do is unlearn. Unlearn all that outside told you you're not good enough. You don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're talking about, and if you don't study these things, like go to college, university, then you really don't know what you're talking about. Whereas in this Pure Energy Healing online course, I teach people, actually, there's one thing that you have to learn, and that is to trust your guidance and your gut feeling. And it never lets you down, because your gut feeling is part of the universal energy and spirit that is guiding you. So your client's lying down. Why did your client come in the first place? Well, because Spirit knows that whatever you have within your thoughts, your feelings, that is the perfect guidance to what your client needs. Therefore, you don't question it, because your clients come to you. So you say thank you, and you do the work. So you take a crystal. So you place that crystal wherever you feel you need it to go, whether it's the third eye, the power point, whether it's by the ear, because they might have an issue with tinnitus, and you might place it to the side of the head at the back because they might suffer with terrible migraine. You might put it on the chest because they have a problem with grief, but ultimately you do it because you feel, why did you put it there? I've no idea, but I just felt I needed to put it there. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly how it works. Well done. You're now listening. So if I said to you, why did you put it by the foot? Well, I saw them walking with a bad foot. That's not how it works. So your gut feeling, your intuition guides you where your brain has no understanding whatsoever. So like I said, I began the healing process with crystals very organically. So from having 2 or 3 crystals when I first began, I started getting this tree and going to my local crystal store in Malaga and buying crystals and mounting them on here, boom, 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 and then working my way along. And not all the time did I wait till I get to the top. Sometimes I was here and a client would have a healing session and I'd feel this great desire to just gift that crystal to my client. And I often wondered, why am I gifting crystals when I'm wanting to work with them and get them up here? So all the energy is so powerful. So you've got nearly 100 hours healing energy in there, because I knew a long time ago that if you work with a crystal and hold it and put good energy into it, it holds the memory in the crystal. Therefore, it made sense that I made this here, because every hour was holding memory. And more often than not, that memory was the memory of each client going through a very similar situation to the crystal that I would use. Fascinating. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? Because how is that possible? But it is possible. It's just like giving somebody a pack of my angel cards after a healing session. We always gift a card, so please choose a card. Why is it that card is always so profound? Why is it that, you know, the client cries when she reads a message? Because she was guided to that. This invisible force of spirit that loves us. If you can create the energy in a room now to allow spirit to come forward and to be part of you, and for you to open your third eye, your crown chakra, all of these power points that you can actually feel. When you're outside, sometimes it's difficult to feel that because of the chaos. Sometimes when you're in a bad place, and we talk about this often in pure energy healing, you never do healing when you're in a bad place because you can't attune to that energy. So a pure energy healer, a crystal healer, the first principle of healing is to heal thyself. Once you've healed yourself, then you are an open vessel with no distractions. You make sure you cut your nails, you make sure you clean yourself, you make sure your clothes are tidy. Cleanliness is close to spiritual. So it's like everything that you do doesn't distract you. It doesn't. So if you're not distracted, you're in that moment. And when you're in the moment, magic happens. So my crystals started with my first crystal by placing them on a tree and working my way up with clients, and then they became pure energy healing crystals. And to this day, when I started 17, 18 years ago, I started putting them out there because I thought, well, somebody might want one of these crystals. So I was on the platform called Facebook, which is now Fascistbook, and I just put it up there, take a photo of it and say, I've got a beautiful crystal that I've worked on for sometimes I'd work on it for 300 hours, and I'd say like 200 hours, it's got this energy in it, and no sooner did I share it, it was sold. There'd be literally between 20 and 50 people saying I want it. So I'd say first come, first serve then. It's true, ask anybody who knows me. It's true. Anybody who's been a Facebook friend, they'll remember. First person who sends a message gets it. So literally, I was asking people, well, I want one of crystal. And I said, well, I don't really work like that. I just work with the crystal. When I finish with it, I put it on Facebook, and people were saying, make me one, do one for me. And I'm saying, you know, I just don't have the time, you know, because I for one thing, my head's all over the place, and because I've got so many crystals, I wouldn't know which one's yours, and I forget quickly, so I can't really do it that way so much. But I did for certain people who really, really wanted a crystal energized. Of course I would, and I had another tree for that. Made it a bit easier, and that tree had actually more than this one. I think it had 4 or 5 tiers. So it was interesting that the process of pure energy crystals started with a man who walked into a field, a journey, an energy of understanding the process of a crystal, understanding that the power of this beautiful ruby garnet, this gorgeous crystal, filled with love, originally filled with power and healing of the blood and all of these amazing things to help with the eyes and help with the clearing of pain and suffering. All of a sudden now I'd lay that on a client 1 hour session on that client and she's just suffered heartbreak. Now this crystal also holds the memory of clearing heartbreak. The client would come in and say, I'm filled with toxins, I've got a disease in my body. Okay, put that in. The healing session after 1 hour would heal their body with this new energy. So then this crystal now would have the energy to help with healing of toxins in your body. So you see how it works. It's phenomenal and it's beautiful. So from Facebook, it got so busy that I created a website and I started putting crystals on the website. And here we are, 17, 18 years on. Each crystal has been worked on by me, all them hours that I put into them. And each day, without failure, unless I'm hunting for crystals around the world, I will put between 1 and 4 or 5 crystals, or 10 sometimes, depending, and put them on Bajerski.com as pure energy crystals. So they're not just a crystal, they're far more. They're filled with a healer's working energy from spirit. That's what I believe. It's a universal energy combined by this amazing energy that's around us if we're able to tap into it and clear the room of all negativity, clear ourselves, and if we feel good and strong, then we work with crystals. If we feel weak and sad, then we take the crystal and let the crystal work on us. And that is exactly how pure energy healing crystals began. And it's come to a point now that I think markbajerski.com shop is one of the most sought after crystal pendants and holding crystals and room crystals in the world. Why? Because people, if you just look at the testimonials, will tell you, this just made me cry as soon as I got it. I feel healed. Grown, strong men, no belief system at all, puts the crystal on and says, I feel better. So they are amazing. And hey, I'm here living proof. Every day I create more and more. And this is a creation of organic love, healing that comes through the universe and spirit to create these beautiful crystals every day. So that's it. That's part of the pure, and it's just a small segment of what I talk about and share with you to give you an idea of maybe it's time that you created your own pure energy crystals. And if you have bought one from me, then continue the work, which I always say. So I've put my energy into it, I've put spirit's energy into it, the universal energy into it, the healing of the client's energy into it. Now it's your turn. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit down if you're feeling good and strong and put good energy into it? Well, it's not charging the crystal, it's actually putting memory into it. And the more new memory you put into it, and the crystal is bigger than any computer in the world. It holds memory more than the biggest computer in the world. So you can keep adding to it all the time. Is it finished? Well, I feel like that my work's done. And then it moves on to somebody else and they'll put their energy into it. And always remember that energy that goes into a crystal is positive. Negative energy doesn't go into the crystal. The only crystal I see it go into is this one here, which is called Tektite. It's a natural absorber of negative energy, but it dispels it instantly. So it doesn't hold it there so you think, oh, this is dangerous because it absorbs negative energy. No, it absorbs it, but it also dispels it at the same time. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So yeah, I love Tektite for that reason. And obviously lots of people will confirm that. So yeah, that's the little story of how I began organically working with crystals and putting pure energy healing into them. Now you know. And again, it's just a little segment of the upcoming Pure Energy Healing online crystal course, which we've just completed. And now we're working on I'm working hard on the editing, and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to love it. It's great. The people in that room, you can feel the energy, the love, the power, and people were working in that room. So you'll be able to see the amazing healers working their magic. You'll be able to see and feel the energy in all that I've experienced, not learned, but experienced, that is given to you within them 4 days. And the amazing Layla Sati was accompanying me, and sometimes I'll speak and somebody will say, what did he mean? I don't know. I like him though, but I don't know what he says sometimes. But that's me. Like, did I say that? He didn't mean it. You're right, I didn't. Mr. Dyslexic. So, Layla Sati, who is a pure energy healing instructor, she was there to also give her input, her amazing knowledge of crystals for many years, and she's able to sometimes explain things in a way that you would understand a lot more easier than me. So it was a great combination, as is the first course, the Pure Energy Healing course, which is online and starts the 5th of August. And I think you're going to love that. That is a precursor to this course, definitely. You're going to love that. If you want to understand energy healing, if you want to really understand it and go into the depth of it, then, you know, try it. It's an online course, so easy to watch. It's 4 days. You take 4 days off. So we're only allowing it on the website for 2 weeks, but it's a 4-day course. If you follow that 4 days, if you take 4 days off and say, look guys, I'm not doing anything but this course for 4 days. You treat it like you were here. You'll find that your life changes and you'll see things in a different way. Just go on to the website and have a look. This isn't a lie. Look at the testimonials. I don't do paid adverts. I don't do sponsored adverts. I don't do any of that stuff because I don't believe in it at all. I believe if the right people are meant to be on that course, they will be. The right people will see it like you. That means that you've been brought here out of the hundreds of thousands of courses online with a guy behind him talking about spirituality leaning against a £200,000 BMW. I mean, give me a break. So, you know, there's a lot of garbage out there where people are jumping onto the bandwagon, and actually you look at these people and think you wouldn't know spirituality if it slapped you in the face. And I'm sorry, it's true guys, it's getting worse now. I mean, people are just jumping onto the spiritual bandwagon because it's easy money, and they read and regurgitate. And I think, have you ever done a healing session in your life? Do you know anything about healing? Do you know anything about energy? Have you ever sat and spent hundreds and hundreds of hours looking at energy and working with it? No, you haven't. So what are you leaning against a Porsche 911 or a Ferrari talking about how to raise your vibration? Give me a break. But people have to sift through the soup of toxic people who are charlatans. You have to sift through it. You've got to be in tune, and the right people will be in tune, and the people who have to go through that, which many of us did when we first started, to know who is real and who isn't, you have to go through that as well. So yeah, I wish you well, and I may see you on because it's interactive as well, on August the 5th. I'll put the link below for the Pure Energy Healing course, 4 days. I'll be on that course live every day with you. At the end of the night, we talk, we interact, we do questions and answers, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. The last course was amazing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. 5th of August, not long now really, is it? Time's flying really fast. I wish you well. I hope you got something out of this, and please begin your journey working with crystals and creating your own pure energy healing crystals. Have a great day. I love you all. Take care, guys. Bye for now.